Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. Thank you. Now enjoy the show. Hey y'all, thanks for tuning in. How y'all doing? Thanks for tuning in to another episode of RAERAEs Review. I'm gonna let you know what happened on Power Book 3, Raising Kanan, Season 4, Episode 7. Lucky 7. I mean, everything's out in the open now, babe. We got 3 episodes left to tie all the ends together. Eunique has made his presence known and felt. Ooh, child. Remember how the episode 6 left off where Raq came in her house from a long day at work with some good news. I mean, good news. And then find his ass in her kitchen eating up all her ice cream. So that's where we left off. So we're going to start right there. Child, Eunique let Raq know that he know was her who was working with working with Ronnie to get him out the way. And he told her he saw him and her walking out of that place after putting down Ronnie and that detective. Raq was trying to convince him it wasn't even like that. It was like that, but it wasn't like that. Man, so I don't really know if it's really the traumatic brain injury the vet talked about, when we opened up and the vet was telling Eunique's friend that he may have some serious, anger management issues coming out of his sickness. I don't know. Because he was always off the chain, already off the chain. So, I mean, being left for dead on the side of a road with nothing but trash, yeah, I'd be ticked off more than Dorit was with Kyle. I'm just saying, if you know, you know. Shoot, the first 7 episodes, all you heard was them arguing back and forth, yelling and screaming, getting to the... Anyway, back to Raising Kanan. Yeah, so it could be a little mixture of a little TBI, which is traumatic brain injury, maybe, and just him on some payback, get back. But it makes sense to him. But she tried to convince him, listen, me and you had something. It was what it was. And no, I would never even do that to you. But child, while he telling her his goons that he did business with in episode 6. Remember, he went to Akbar, I think, and got some of the bros from Newark, New Jersey to back him up on the streets. Yeah, Steffano was like, listen, get out of my office. I ain't got time for you right now. The heat is too much. It's too hot. Steffano was like, I ain't doing nothing because I ain't retaliating against nobody for the sake of you. So get out of my face. Yeah, so he went to the bros. So looks like they taking over Raq's corners while he at Raq's house, because he was pretty much letting her know my plan's already in motion. He was letting her know he said, I'm taking back what you thought you was gonna take from me. Now remember, him and her was, adversaries before getting together. But he let her know. Next we see Lou having a little daytime lunch with a psycho co-worker. She's letting him know little by little that she don't appreciate him, having sex with his ex, but at the same time, they're not Instagram official or anything like that. She was just, taken aback a little bit. Child, talking about before any feelings are caught, I just want to make it plain. Girl, your feelings been caught. Because a real player wouldn't even have that conversation. A real player would have noticed the necklace. Oh, I guess Jess left her necklace here. and kept doing business. A real player wouldn't simp up and make it seem like you jealous and that you want more. Girl, you caught up and Lou see it. Lou was playing a role so he don't, have no boiling bunny on his stove because, girl, you seem like a psycho. Anyway, Raq tells Marvin, Kanan, and Juke at her house that Eunique was here. They all asking questions, and Juke is like, oh, shit, baby daddy back. Rest in peace to the baby. But yeah, Kanan pushing back, talking back, letting her know she should have did this, and we in this predicament because of her. And Marvin's like, man, I already told you, stop disrespecting your mama. And pretty much Kanan walks out, talking shit. Marvin asked Juke, well, since you know so much, what do you suggest we do? Juke was like, listen. And so Juke is supposed to, keep her eye on Kanan. She walk out, and with that, hand on the shoulder, she lets Raq know, I got him. I'm here. Don't worry. Raq is just like, I can't believe this, my son. Yeah, girl, believe it. Juke was like, he grown. He grown. Shoot, he was grown 4 years ago. Anyway, next we see Eunique shows himself to his baby mom. She damn near have a conniption. And then he's just letting her know, I'm back. And then he takes her to a spot for, a new heezy, a safe house for her and the baby. Well, the boy is what, 2nd grade by now? Anyway, she lets him know that she got to take care of her mom, take her to dialysis. He started yelling at her real loud. She's going to him like, who you think you're talking to? It's me. You can trust me. He was like, I can't trust nobody outside of this household. So my boys will take mom to dialysis. Don't worry. She going to be all right. Boys going to take care of things. So can you imagine? Child. Anyway. Next again, we see Lou. This time it's just Lou, Marvin, and Raq. They making plans to see how they gonna take care of the situation. Lou is all in. Okay, Lou is all in. He's like, oh no, hell no, Eunique, oh no, So Lou's back, y'all. I mean, he didn't make no, proclamations. He just said, I'm in. Count me in. It is what it is. So next we see Kanan and Juke having lunch. Kanan just worried, and he wants his own business. With all the loot he got in his in his luggage down to the public storage. He's letting Juke know he won't start his own business. He wants Juke to help her. He only trusts her. That's it. That's all. He don't trust nobody. And he said, even trying to get back at Famous, she wants to get back at whoever did that to Famous. And he was like, yeah, I hear you. So, child. Next we see Raq and Marvin. They try and solicit snaps and pops, letting them know Eunique is back and what he said and who yada yada. But they was like, well, what you mean us, we? She's like, yeah, us, we do business for you. You in it too. He was like, no, we do business with Kanan. So thanks for the update. Raq and Marvin look like, ain't that some shit? Anyway, so they get up and leave. They're like, all right, then peace, bet. And they walk out. So Snaps and Pops like, dang, interruption. Another damn interruption. And again, we see Eunique. He comes by, making his presence known on the block outside of the Chinese restaurant, letting them know that you ain't getting no more business because somebody came in asking for the so-called special. And they're like, ain't no special because ain't no work, right? And so there was like, so the dude sitting there who was supposed to be the dude working for them, that how Marvin sat there and kind of kept an eye on things, was the new dude working for Eunique. And he tells the so-called customer, you may want to go across the street and get your special that you was looking for over here. And child, the restaurant owner's like, we ain't making no money. There go that damn motherfucker that man. So, you know, it is what it is. You know, you know. Now, Raq and Marvin, they go by Steffano, letting them know what's going on with Eunique. Steffano warns them to stay clean, stay above ground, and that, you know, he can't get mixed in. They let him know that Steffano lets them know that word on the street is Eunique went to Russo, who was Sal Pacelli's dude, who Marvin took out on the behalf of Steffano. Remember that, y'all? So Russo's people, but I think there's a mistake because it's supposed to be Akbar. And from my understanding, now correct me if I'm wrong, does Akbar work for Russo? Because it seemed like Russo referred Eunique out. You know what I'm saying? He didn't lend him any of his people due to the fact Eunique didn't have a strong, forthcoming, you know, plan. You know what I'm saying? No real security blanket. So anyway, maybe Steffano heard it wrong, but then again, maybe Akbar is somewhat connected with Russo. But then again, Russo did refer him out. So anyway, Steffano's letting Marvin and Raq know that Russo got Eunique some backup. So at the same time, keep your nose clean, stay above ground, and then check this out. Steffano warns Raq in front of Marvin about her feelings for Eunique and don't let that cloud her judgment. She's like, ain't no judgment to be clouded. I got this, motherfucker. And Marvin looked like, what you mean feelings for Eunique? Who all knew about Raq and Eunique? I thought they kept that on the low. I guess not, because this is the second person that done said Raq was hanging with Eunique. I wonder, was it the baby mama? Because remember when she came at Raq talking about you fucking my man, yada yada. Anyway, what else happened, child? Then we see Kanan goes to his stash. He's been robbed. Ooh, that hurt my heart. Oh, Lord, just to see all that money gone. It wasn't even mine, child. Just the fact. Child, now he go back to, child. Oh, my God. So anyway, before I go back to Kanan, so we see Marvin and Raq talking, and they're like, listen, they just left out Steffano. So that, you know, before they get into the car, they're like, listen, we got to do something, because if we got to take Steffano out, then that's what it is. Raq was like, what? That's a big move. Marvin was like, and it is what it is. Something tells me Marvin's trying to cover up some issue with that statement. But yeah, like I was saying, Kanan. Child. Kanan goes back to the workroom, if you know what I'm saying, and questioning where is little man. Come and find out his name is OC. It's the first time I heard him call him by his name. I've been calling him little right hand man. Anyway, little man, OC. They like, we ain't seen him all day. He was like, where he at? As soon as you let me know, I'll get, you know, we can start working again. Child. I have a feeling little man OC is somewhere where he ain't supposed to be, looking real shiny. Anyway, because remember, previous episode, little man OC saw Kanan walking into the public stores. He followed him after Kanan told little OC, I got the work. Just find out who put down Famous. Child, Kanan, you got to be more careful. Whew. Next, we see BOOKIII and his crew. Now, remember when BOOKIII went to his old homie? Supposed to be all, you know, black power, this, that, and the third. Well, anyway, he's still doing crime because him and his boys, they pull up to the label owner's house. Remember, label owner said that he likes to stash cash in his home due to them being discriminated against back in the day, not being able to hold a bank account. Don't that sound familiar? And he's Jewish. Now, just FYI, don't forget, in the beginning of times, Jewish folks was discriminated against also in the boroughs of NYC area. all those different boroughs was because that's where they were redlined to move. No one was trusted but pretty much British Europeans. So over time, they started to trust Jewish folks to run the banks and carrying on. So over time, it's been, I guess, just oversaturated that Jewish folks run the money. Well, that's not how it really started, but for the most part, I don't want to sound racist or discriminatory, but now they have a leg up in that respect. But like the label mate said, given that history lesson a few episodes ago, that's why he stashed money in his house. That's what the old folks did, and they get it from their old folks. You know how we do, just hand down tradition. And Black people do it too. I'm pretty sure Mexicans or Spanish, Latino folks do it, because a lot of us were discriminated against from the British and racist folks who ran the country. Well, run anyway. So, that's just how it was back in the day, so advancements have progressed, but yet still, we're still stashing our cash where we need to stash it anyway. So Barilla and his, remember he told his crew about the label owner stashing cash in his house. So this is the time where we see them rob the label owner. Child, Barilla didn't want to go in because he sees the light on. The plan was for all of them, Barilla too, to go in, rob the house without, anybody being there. But since somebody's there, they didn't tell him the whole plan. They said, well, we take them down. But the point is, we all go. But then they said, well, all right, we'll let you stay in the car this one time. And then the other homeboy said, well, let me take the keys in case you feel like dashing before we come back. Child, next thing you know, he out there looking outside the van, looking and carrying on. He hear gunshots, see the lights flashing. And he ducking like, oh, wow. So then his homies come out talking about they shot back, but we put them down. So he's thinking the label owner is DEAD. Child, he don't know what he gonna do. Anyway, so Marvin at Steffano called him over because he thinks Raq is in over her head. He thinks Raq, he means Steffano, telling Marvin he thinks Raq is making the wrong decisions and he wants Marvin to step in. So pretty much Marvin reminded him, Raq is in charge. Don't you ever forget that. Don't you ever bring this shit to me again. Pretty. Please don't do that no more. Because, Marvin is his own man, like he said, but at the same time, he know, where his bread is buttered. Anyway, so Steffano said, well, this isn't the last time we talk about it. He got word that one of his boys was put down. They found him in the lake. So he got to go take care of that. So he just let Marvin know, we're going to talk again. All right. Next, we see Lou and Marvin visit their mom on hospice, child. And they just talking and everything. And then Raq shows up. Lou don't want to keep blaming her. They start talking about the past and a few good times. And Lou said, well, maybe that's just the best she could do. For what she known. Remind me of what Mia said. Mia from Real Housewives of Potomac. If you don't watch, or even if you do, you can remember when she said, I wasn't raised like y'all. Pretty much I wasn't raised right. So this is the best I could do. Girl, she almost 50. That's maybe if you was 30 years old, we could believe that and take it as gospel. But it's just at a certain age, a certain, point in life, that can't be the excuse anymore. Anyway, back to Raising Kanan. So Lou was just trying to make sense of it all. You know how hindsight 2020, and you gain some understanding. You lived a little bit. You got some, living under your belt. That's why they say just keep living, young folk. Just keep living. because you gain some insight into life. You come across certain circumstances, situations, and some consequences, and you gain discernment. Sometimes some things that are unconventional could be the best thing for the situation. I've done some unconventional things when it came to my kid and myself. Well, let me get some water. Hold on. Yeah. This part is a little sentimental because, I'm grown and I've lived and been through things. Like I said, discernment. Like Lou was saying, this could have been the best she could do. You know what I'm saying? So then they start talking about some more good old times. And then Marvin mentions the Kevorkian way. And then Lou was like, yeah, Mom told me about the Kevorkian way also. And Raq asked, why wasn't she asked? And they was like, well, probably because you would have enjoyed it, or it, you know what I'm saying? Because Raq, man, it is what it is. So they pretty much talk a little bit, and yeah, that's crazy. It was what it was. So then Marvin tells Raq, so Lou leaves, and Marvin tells Raq what Steffano said about Eunique. She's like, when you start talking to Steffano, oh, so that was you when the feds said that they saw you at his place of business. What you lying for? What you lying for? So Mark said, listen, I'm my own man. He asked me to do some work for him, so I did. I didn't think it was any of your business. Child. So that was pretty much it with that. They got that squared away. It was what it was, baby. So next we see Kanan, in the dark in his apartment. Crystal come in from the store. He scared her half to death. He was like, Crystal. She's like, yes, Kanan. I got something to talk to you about. She's like, you scare me. What's going on? She was like, I love you. What's going on? He was like, I know who killed Famous. Child, how you find that out? So Lou and Marvin left Raq alone with the mom. The hospice nurse is outside smoking a cigarette because their mom is a piece of work, but she's so weak and almost gone that the nurse is just there just to change diapers and keep her clean as much as possible. Keeping the meds going, keeping her as comfortable as possible. That's what hospice is. Comfort care only. That's all it is. And so Raq just looking over her mom's almost lifeless body. The mom opens her eyes. Raq's like, I thought you were asleep. Mom was like, I'm in pain, baby. I'm never asleep, pretty much. So Raq was like, I heard what you asked my brother to do. She's like, is that what you want me to do? And the mom was like, I'm in pain, baby. I'm in pain. Raq was like, well, where's that? Dang, Raq, you. It was like, where is it at? Shoot. Then the mom told her where it was, pointed to it. Raq got it, and the mom was happy, both of them crying. And no, I love you, nothing. Raq administers it, bam, just puts it in. She didn't even slow roll. She just pushed the needle, held her hand, and that was it, child. But she did thank her mom for the dog party because Raq wanted a dog when she was about 5 or 6, and the mom arranged a dog for everybody in the neighborhood who had a dog to come to her party with their dog. So Raq could have her dog for the day. Raq thanked her mom for that. I guess that was her way of saying I love you. And like I said, she put the stuff in her IV, held her hand, and I guess episode 8 we're gonna see a fume. Because if she ain't passed by then, I know something. That was it, y'all. That was Kanan, Raising, season 4, episode 7. Rest in peace to their mama. All right, lady. All right, y'all. Thanks for tuning in. Come back. Like, comment, subscribe, and share. Bye.